Little story for you on the second day of this Scottish Odyssey. When I was about 10, I used to collect the Orbis football collection, which was a set of... I know he's coming up. There he is, look.
What are you saying?
Anything you want to say? I said how great that was.
Great.
Yeah. I'm going to use this, so be careful what you do. Don't get me in trouble.
No, don't get in trouble.
Looking forward to the season?
Cardiff next week.
Yeah.
That's it.
There he goes. There you go. That's enough, isn't it? It's Tim Krul. Fans' favourite, Tim Krul. Just realised the bag on his back's got the old crest. Kit man, you need to sort that out. I remember when I was 8, 10, whatever it was, and I had the Orbis football collection, which was a set of ring binders, and you go down to the newsagents once a month or once a week or whatever, and you collect the infills and you collect the stickers, so you could do both. It was Division 1, Premier League, and Championship, Division 2, as it was back then, and the Scottish Premier League. And I collected the stickers for all of them, and Hibernian was just one of those clubs where I was like, this is great. So, as a 41-year-old man, I don't know how old I am, it's so lovely to come to Easter Road. There it is, which is a lovely stand, not entirely asymmetric or aesthetically pleasing in the corners, but I think that's probably because those top tiers get cut off by the road. So, be forgiving. Lovely stadium. Now, if you're wondering why, a minute into this, I'm still talking about the stadium and managing to avoid standing on the pitch and bumping into Tim Krul, it's because we've just had the last friendly of pre-season, and I don't know, there's not much to say about it, really. As I think I tweeted, you get to a point at the end of pre-season where, you can tell everyone just wants the action to start. And I think that's where we got to today quite early. Norwich have lost 1-0. Didn't really offer a lot going forwards. Pace of the game wasn't really there. I think it was very noticeable, the difference in level between Hibernian and Celtic from yesterday. Norwich played obviously a completely different starting 11 and a really youthful back line. And you could maybe be slightly worried about some of the strength in depth. Norwich played a diamond formation, which was interesting, and we saw John Rowe play at the tip of that. But I mean, the whole thing was an exercise in trying to get the minutes into the players and using what was available, and that's it really. I don't know what else to say. The goal wasn't great defensively, but as I said, it's a very useful backline, so you can understand that. Norwich were actually quite snappy and aggressive at times. Whereas I know Scottish football is probably more aggressive than Championship football, so occasionally they got it back. Liam Gibbs got a pretty hefty whack at one point. It was the game's only booking, and he left with a strapped ankle, but he was walking fine, and I'm sure he will be fine. Norwich really didn't pick up any particular injuries. Sam Byron will be training next week, as will of course Gabriel Sara, try and get that right, for the first time with his new teammates, which is all great. Maybe too early for Ben Gibson, so I would say he's probably a doubt for the start of the season, at least the first game, but it sounds positive with Grant Hanley and he'll be available as well. So actually in an injury sense, Norwich have been okay by the signings. Obviously they've been okay with their pre-season. There's been no major injuries, which is obviously the one thing you do want to avoid. And I've been saying it all pre-season, obviously, that you can't read anything into these games. I don't read anything into Norwich going to Marseille and winning. I don't read anything into them losing other games. But there is probably one caveat that once the season starts, so we can start judging them properly come next weekend. You can use pre-season in hindsight. If Norwich start looking like they can't score goals in the Championship, then that is definitely backed by what we've seen in pre-season, because they've struggled to create chances at times, not at others. And certainly in Marseille they created some chances, but then that was quite a different dynamic of a game, and a game that they might not come up against in the Championship. The interesting thing about this game was actually style-wise, it was quite similar to what I have tended to see in Championship games. Hibernian were kind of at that level, and Hibernian were kind of at that level, and it was direct, and I could see that. Bless Rotherham. Norwich going to Rotherham next year might be quite similar to this, but Norwich will play with a different team. So we will see, but I would just say some of the young players really have stepped up and looked capable. Not necessarily the ones like Lewis Shipley and Bradley Hills today, but I thought Jonathan Tompkinson and Liam Gibbs deserve a good nod because they've looked like they can step up from this environment to being with the first team. So we'll see how they get on. Anyway, I'm done with Scotland. I'm done with pre-season. I will see you in Wales next weekend. On the Ball podcast is back on Monday. Check out The Athletic for loads of stuff in the build up to the season. And my taxi's here, so I'm off. Have a great time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll see you all very soon.